The following tape was recorded by Ben and Gwen van Lierop at Dogondouchi, French, West Africa, on June 20th, 1958.
Greetings from Gwen and Ben. We have just had the opportunity to use a tape recorder, so we would like to take this occasion to speak to you personally. And particularly, we would like to give you some news about our boys. You know that this boys' home, or our boys' work, began quite spontaneously. We never planned it that way. It never occurred to us to have a boys' home. But the Lord just brought one boy after the other to our door, and we did not have it in us to send them away, nor could we have sent these children away that were brought to us and given to us. And we felt it was our duty, yes, our privilege, to take these children as these people expressed their confidence in us by bringing them to us. Now, this is an unexpected opportunity, so it is quite unprepared, and I just have before me a list of the names of some of these boys. Every boy has his own history, his own story. For every child that was given to us, there was a definite reason why we felt we should accept a child. We all sought the Lord's will in the matter, and we never took a child unless we were convinced in our own hearts that this child was of the Lord and that He wanted us to undertake the responsibility for that child. In some cases, they were orphans, in most cases perhaps, but there was always some specific reason, and we always questioned the one who brought the child as to why did they want us to have the care and responsibility of that child. And unless we were satisfied, we did not accept the child. We particularly insisted that we have all rights to the child, to teach him, to treat him in case of illness in any way we felt he should be treated, to discipline him if necessary, and to decide and help decide as to whom he should marry or not marry. We felt that we should have all the rights if we were to have the whole responsibility. And we always found the parents or the relatives or whoever brought the child, we always felt them very willing to agree to this and to see the reasonableness of it, and we have never had anybody go back on their promises to us or their agreements with us. Now, we had a group of boys some years ago, and we did not take these precautions, and in some cases it led to misunderstanding. The children were too much influenced by their home environment. We let them go home for any and all reasons, but now, when we accept them, it's understood that our home becomes their home, and that they are to stay with us, and if they go to their relatives or to visit friends, they must always notify us, and they must get permission. We must always know where they are. We definitely cannot have them continue under the influence of pagan and Muslim relatives. Otherwise, in a few hours, the work of many months and even years can be easily undone. Now, this first group that we had, there has been real success, because Abdu was one of them, and the cow who's now in Bible school, but many of the others fell by the wayside. And we feel that with our present arrangements, there is a greater prospect of 100% success, and that is the way we pray, and that is the way we want you to pray for them, that they may all go on with the Lord, go into the Lord's service, whether it be full-time as evangelists or Christian teachers, or in any other way that the Lord may lead them. It is always understood, too, of course, that the child is left completely free to choose as the Lord guides him as to the type of work he wants to do when he is older, so that the relatives cannot stop him from going into evangelistic work or other Christian work because they prefer him to go on to some type of occupation that will give them more money. Therefore, we want to say in that, but we want the child to be able to choose as the Lord leads him and not be hindered by relatives or friends who have a right to have a say in the matter as far as the relatives are concerned. Now, the first three that were brought to us together of this new group, if we can call it that way, were brought by Galilee, the first Christian, as far as we know, in our whole tribe, the first to profess Christ, Galilee. Now, he brought three children. Two were his sons, and one of them, Sani, was the son of his elder brother. This elder brother is the headman of a small village, and the elder brother agreed to give his son with Galilee's two other children. Now, this Sani is at the present sitting for an exam to try to get a scholarship. He's doing very well in school, has excellent reports from his teacher and his principal. We're very happy about him, but above all, we have great hopes for him because of Galilee's statement when he brought Sani and the other two. He said, I have accepted Christ, I've come to the light, I am so thankful, but I have never been able to preach to my people and to teach them as I would have liked to, because I have lacked the training. With all his trying, he was never able to learn to really read and write. But he said, these children, I want to bring them, and I want them to be trained by you, so that they may be able to do the work in reaching their own people that I was not able to do because of my handicaps. Galilee brought these children, possibly knowing that soon he would be called to the Lord. He was ill at the time he brought them, and he seemed to know that he did not have long to live. And Sani has certainly been living up to the faith that his uncle Galilee put in him. He's a fine Christian. He's fairly recently been baptized. He's going on with the Lord, and we feel that it is in such that the future of our missionary work will lie, because after all, if we're going to reach the whole tribe, they will only be reached, as far as we can see, by their own people, and it is up to us particularly to try to teach and instruct those who will be able to go on and reach their own people in a way in which we can never possibly reach them. The story of Ibrahim is a very sad one. His mother is a fine Christian woman, but his father is a strong, fanatic Muslim, and he sent his Christian wife away, divorced her and her children, even while she was expecting the last one. Several of them, off they went. And she brought Ibrahim to us. In her desperation, not only to care for them, but to bear the full responsibility with a hostile husband whom she could not trust. And she wanted this child to have the full opportunity of Christian training and Christian teaching, and we gladly took him. We have an orphan, several of them in fact. One of them, Yakubu, His father had heard the gospel years ago as it was given by Dr. Stewart, one of our pioneers, one of the first missionaries of our mission. And he immediately recognized the story of Jesus and his death and resurrection as I told it to him. One of his sons was with us for some time and went on to Bible school, that is Gado. And this young boy, Yakubu, the orphan, was given to us after his father died. Johanna is also an orphan, strangely. When his father was on the point to be married, suddenly the bride's parents demanded that he pay more money for her. Came to me for a loan, which under the circumstances I could not refuse, as I knew the man very well. Then the man became very ill, the father, and he said that after his death, should a boy be born, that boy should be given to us. I never got my money back. He couldn't pay it. He was sick, but we got the baby. Still, we are very happy to have this child, and his relatives, many of them, most of them I should say, are Muslims. They have not objected, because the man made this as his dying request, that his child, should he be a boy, be given to us to be brought up as a Christian. Thought just occurs to me, you're probably tired of hearing my voice now and wondering, when are we going to hear Gwen? Well, here she is.
Hello, everybody. We are so glad that we can tell you personally something about our boys, because it's so much nicer than writing long letters. Ben has just been telling you about the two little orphans, Johanna and Yakubu. And I also want to mention that Salma is an orphan. He was given to us by his older brother, and he is doing very well in school. Although he is really one of the little boys, he has such a big heart and so much courage and ambition that we've had to put him in with the big boys, and he's even catching them up in school. I'm hoping that next year he will be able to go in for his examination and try for a scholarship, which means that he will really be doing 6 years schooling in 5. I think he's quite capable of making the effort and gaining a school year in the next few months that I will have while they are on holiday, and I shall be trying to coach him especially for that. Then we have a cute little Fulani boy of quite a different tribe. His father came down to visit his daughter, who had been living for about 4 years in Dogondouchi, and he wondered what had happened to her. So he came down way from Filenge to the north of us on his horse, a long 4-day journey, and he found that his daughter was living on our compound with her husband, and that both she and her husband had become Christians and were getting ready to go to Bible school. This man listened to the gospel. He had never ever heard such good news before, and during the week that he was with us, he learned to sing hymns, learnt Bible verses, and was so thrilled with his salvation that he said, "As soon as I go home, I'm going to send a boy and a girl down to you that they may be brought up as Christians. I do not want all my children to grow up in darkness and pagan superstition." And so he was as good as his word. His daughter went back with him for a visit home, and when she came back, she brought her little brother, Mande. I just wish you could see him. He's quite different from the others, a different tribe and a different nature, and we are very thrilled with him. Then we have Bawa, who was brought to us by the father of little Abdu Yahya. Bawa's father sent his mother away before he was born, and although he is 7, he has never known his father, being quite disowned. His father has never taken any interest in him, and his mother was talked to by Salma, the father of Abdul Yahya, and persuaded to give the boy into our care. She herself as yet has not shown any interest in the gospel, but her little boy encourages her to come to church. And when we go preaching on Sunday afternoons, as I do, visiting in the homes and taking the little boys with me so that they can sing and testify to the people in the village, he always wants to be sure that we go to see his mother, and he loves to sing choruses to her and recite Bible verses.
Now, I have talked about the father of Abdul Yahya.
Salma and his wife are lepers. They have been in our leprosarium at Sokoto, and they have been home in Dogondouchi for a while, but we have discovered that Yahya's mother is still a leper, and so she has now gone to the mission leper home in Maradi.